This is the analysis of three factorization diagrams. 35, which is 7 times 5, 130, which is 2 times 13 times 5, and 72, which has 5 factors. First one, this is 35. So when you look at 35, for any of these, you want to look at equal groups. Start off with equal groups of, in this case, dots. For 35, the way this is drawn, there are 7 equal groups. You can start off with 5 times 7. Usually designate the first factor as the number of equal groups. So in this case, 7 groups. The second factor I usually designate as the number of dots within a single group when you have a pair of factors. So in this case, there are 5 dots within each group. So 7 times 5 equals 35. But now if you have 3 factors, which is the case for 130, you're going to look, you have to look at groups of groups, so nested groups. So there's 2 groups. Within each of those 2 groups are 13 smaller groups. So that's a nested group of 13 groups within each of 2 groups. Then within each of those 13 groups now are 5 dots. So 2 times 13 times 5 equals 130 dots. And finally, when you have 5 factors, which is the case for 72, so you're going to look at nested groups. 2 large groups, two smaller groups within those 2 large groups. So now you have a total of 4 of those smaller groups. Within each of those smaller groups are 3 even smaller groups. So if you circled them all, you'd come up with 12 groups. And within each of those smaller groups are 3 tiny groups. Each of those tiny groups has 2 dots. And all together, it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 2, which equals 72 dots. The diagrams just help you see the groups of things, in this case, dots.